My dear brothers, I am challenged by the reading this very morning because it says in the first reading, do we really know God? Do we really know God if we do not love? If we love, then you know God. The reason I've been challenged because the last few days, my parents, they called me and they said, Hal, we need you to fix the hot water boiler. And I said to myself, why can't we just pay somebody to fix this? Only cost, I checked it out, it only cost $375 for installation. But then what I lost sight was of the fact that although my dad can't do what he used to do before, he was relying on me. But all I saw was, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. How can I lift this by myself? How can I unscrew these things? I don't even know what's wrong. Bought a heater, didn't work. Returned it, bought another heater, still doesn't work. And I said to myself, what's the meaning of all this, God? Well, in my restlessness, in my own pridefulness, short-sightedness, I lost out of the reality of what God was trying to give to me, the gift of spending time with my dad. He's ailing, he's weak, and yet I did not see that. So I question today, do I really know God? Do I really know God to the extent to which God is trying to reveal himself to me? For it's quite easy to love God when things are beautiful, when things are perfect, under your control. But when things are not in your control, it is hard to love, especially when you're conflicted or you're wrestling with yourself. And in moments of my life when I think everything is good, there's something that I still need to work on. So to love God is to realize that there are moments when it's going to be difficult. There will be moments when we are resistant. There will be moments when we are fighting against God and how he's trying to reveal himself to us. For here in the gospel passage, that God in his greatness was able to become the very bread and the fish, but the bread and the fish, the multiplication of the loaves, signify that eventually it will be the Eucharist, the sacrament that would feed his people. But the 5 loaves and 2 fish, of course, in Catholic numerology, 7 is the perfect number. So the patristic father says that that's representative of Christ, the 5 loaves and 2 fish. And how he gave it to the apostles and the apostles gave it to the people, of course, that represents the apostolic succession. How do we multiply our gifts? For God is able to take the very little that we have, even sometimes the faith of the size of a mustard seed, and he's able to move mountains. And the past weekend, the greatest mountain within my heart was that weight of resistance. But then when I look back, even in my own resistance, whether it be grinding my teeth, whether it be listening and being patient, I did do it. Not in a perfect way, of course, but I say, Lord, there's something here you want me to see. It hurts. It hurts to die to yourself. It hurts to let go of what you think is right for you in that moment. Or perhaps in my own mind, I could say, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so tired. I did 3 masses on Sunday. And after that, they called me and said, we need for you to come home and do this. I said, oh my gosh. But of course, in my selfishness, in that moment, I did not know God, but rather I only sought my own comforts. So the invitation really in this new year is to grow in that way, to receive the blessings to the hardships. That although we wrestle, although we're resistant at times, we let go and we let God. To allow God to enter into the the smallness of our hearts sometimes and say, Lord, transform it. So it's not my heart that loves, but it's your heart. Because even the other day when I was at Walmart and I was driving, and I gave this homeless some money because I felt like God was calling me to assist this person, I said to myself, did I really give myself to this person? Or was it just a piece of myself? Because if I truly gave myself to this person, I would have spent more time with this person. And so always in that reflective mode, there's always a desire or even a greater love that we know we can give sometimes. But many times that resistance, right, that inner battle is very difficult. But of course, God doesn't judge us in that moment, but he says, let me teach you in these small ways that although you cannot do it now, I pray that as you grow, right, as you carry the cross, as you are being configured to Christ who is on the cross, then you understand eventually. And so I see we're all in the work in progress. Right? We're all in this together to pray with one another, to pray for one another as well. To see that the healing power of God's love is when we're able to humble ourselves, to not see ourselves as great, but rather to say, Lord, you can do everything. Just as we celebrate the memorial of St. Andre Bessette, he was not a priest, grew up in Canada, the eighth child of 12 Trojans. His father passed away when he was 8 years old. And then his mother passed away when he was 12. And so he grew up a lot of portion of his life with that pain, with that grief. But that didn't prevent him from being a saint, because a priest, Father Andre, in that time in Canada, saw his holiness and invited him to the religious congregation of the Holy Cross. But he remained a brother, a lay brother, and he took the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience as well. But he became a doorman. For 40 years of his life, his main focus was to greet people in and out the door and to teach them in these small ways. Well, eventually, he was associated with healing, and he would take the oil from the St. Joseph lamp, a deep dedication, devotion to St. Joseph, and they would have a lamp lit for St. Joseph. Every day he would take a piece of that oil and give it to people, and people were healed. A paralyzed mother healed from her paralysis. A person who was burned half portion of his body, eventually St. Andre was able to pray for him, give him the oil, and he shedded all the burned skin off. He was renewed. Of course, many more. And you go to the oratory, St. Joseph, I only saw pictures, but there's crutches, wheelchairs hanged up in the walls for the sign that he is the intercessor that heals. So how do we heal other people in this time? How do we heal ourselves? Right? Yes, however broken we are, how do we heal ourselves in our brokenness so that we can become broken healers who are mended? Because if we don't heal the brokenness within our hearts, we will break others, often says. If we don't heal the harm and the pain and the anger and the resistance, then how we deal with other people will be in the like manner. So let us today ask God and ask St. Andre Bessette to heal us. That as we walk together in faith in this new year, let's take a look at this new year as a way for us to find healing, because we all need to heal from something. And wherever state or wherever age, you'll see there's always a part of us that still needs healing, because it's not until heaven that we will gain that perfection. So let us ask God in this humbleness, in our humility, to realize, okay, these are the areas I need to work on this year, so that I can give myself more fully to another person, especially those who are sick and ill, those who are poor. Because I often said, maybe it's me who is sick and ill. Maybe the homeless are looking at me and going, poor you. Who knows, right? Because many times maybe they found home in God. And maybe they're more free than me. I have no idea. And that's where I leave, of course, the judgment out of it. I say, Lord, whatever I can do to love, because I want to know you. I want to know you to the extent where you reveal yourself through Scripture, where you reveal yourself through sacraments. And in these ways, he will stretch us. In the moment we find comfort in that love of God, and every day we only seek comfort, then we resist that very presence of God in the suffering, in the crosses. And so let us see how God is trying to move us in this direction together, and let us find joy in the midst of it. I don't know about you, but I feel motivated every time I'm challenged with something God has revealed to me. Yes, humbled, hurt, and many times when I reflect on it, I say, man, still not there yet. When I think I know God, not really yet. And so I think that's the humility God is asking for. To say, okay, Lord, not there yet, but I want to be there. I want to desire you more. I want to love you more. I want to know you more, as St. Andre Bessette did in his life, in his humbleness, humility. Let us lower ourselves this day to receive Christ, who will lift us up into his embrace. Amen.